Good morning, Keller Williams. How's it going? Happy Wednesday. Little Van Halen to get us started today. Funny story about that song. That came out in 1984. I was 14 years old and I loved that song. And that made me feel like so tuned in to what everybody else really liked, because it was like a hard rock song, right? Because everything else I liked was like pop and new wave and all that stuff coming out of London. So the fact that I was like tuned into Van Halen, man, that made me feel like one of the guys. Of course, you look back now and think, okay, that was probably their most mainstream song ever. Well, let me restate that. That was their most mainstream song ever. And it really wasn't all that hard rocking or heavy metal-y. So, oh well, still made me feel good. And to this,
So I'm going to send those pictures in today. Oh.
Rick, you're muted.
Rick, you're muted.
see that, trying to cure an open mic, and I cured my own open mic. There we go. All righty. So Wednesday, chock full of exciting things happening today, including the rest of the week and into next week. Before we get started on that, though, let me kick it over to my friend Jose, who probably plays the guitar just as well as Eddie Van Halen does. I haven't seen it personally, but I know it's what I'm hearing. Good morning, Jose.
Good morning, Rick. How are you? Air guitar.
Ah, there you go.
Oh, yeah, air guitar. That's it.
Well played.
Nothing but air guitar. Good morning, everybody. I'm Jose Vladimir from Guaranteed Red Affinity. Delighted to be here with you guys today. I am calling you remotely. I am actually at a company conference, and but I didn't want to miss this call. As you all very well know, and I'm sure everybody's can't wait to hear what the government has to say, the federal government is meeting today to determine how high to increase the Fed fund rate. Most experts believe they are going to increase rates by about 0.5% to maybe even 1%. In reality, most mortgage companies have already built in this hike into their pricing. In fact, I was looking at CHFA rates right now, and I use CHFA as the benchmark for how low rates go, because the program is designed to help first-time buyers, low to moderate borrowers. So they try to provide a low interest rate to begin with, right? And so right now, CHFA for a conventional mortgage is 4.375%. And for an FHA is 4%. That tells me that when the markets open today, more than likely for most banks will be pricing their conventional mortgages at probably 4.5%, and maybe FHAs at 4 1/8. I can tell you that that is a significant change from what we had a year ago when we were in the 2.875% interest rates. In fact, if you had a borrower who was purchasing or financing a property, a $350,000 mortgage back then, they would have been paying $1,452. Right now, they'll be paying around $1,799. That's a 24% increase on principal and interest payments. But that is the reality of the market. That is what it is. There's nothing you or I can do to change it. All we can do really is look to, someone said this to me and I want to share this with you. There are 2 days that we can do anything about. We cannot do anything about the past, and we cannot do anything about the future because it is yet untold. The only thing we can do is do something about our today. Today, we still have very good rates, even though they may be at 4.25%, 4.5%, whatever they're going to be after the federal government makes their changes. There are still very good rates compared to what they were in the past. Now we can look at the past and use it as the basis to make educated decisions, right? We learn from our past. Well, I came to this country back in 1984, and back then, interest rates were at 14%, actually 14.5% when I came in June of 1984. If we look at the past and we look at what's happening right now, there are some scary similarities, right? Fuel prices are going up. There's unrest in the world, right? And so there's economic pressures that are building up. And if we look at the past, we can see that potentially rates are going to continue to go up. So what are we to do right now? Imperative that our buyers take advantage right now of this incredible opportunity that we have in front of us. Rates are still very low for buyers, and sellers can make a lot of money. It is important that we share that message to them. Please share that message. Let them know this is the time. This is the time to lock in those savings. As I mentioned before on another meeting, the best hedge against inflation is real estate. If you can buy real estate, if you can afford to buy real estate right now, buy it. That's my tips for today. Please share that with your customers. Right now is the day. Seize the moment. Copper DM, seize the moment. Thank you, Rick.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Jose. We appreciate it. What a reminder, right? Rates might go up, and yet they're still not where they were when Jose arrived on the shores of the US. And here's what's interesting. He didn't arrive here and say, oh, 14% interest rates, I'm going back. He stayed, right? So the reality is, hey, did you ever go to a steakhouse and you were hoping for the filet mignon, and you get there and they're like, you know what? We just sold the last filet mignon. And so you get the porterhouse instead. Well, guess what? Your rates are just like that right now. You wanted the filet mignon because that was the top cut, but you had to settle for the porterhouse. It was still delicious, right? So get over it and help people understand that a tick up in interest rates only creates urgency in the market, which is good for everyone. It doesn't create stagnation in the market. So keep pushing forward. Thank you so much, Jose. I appreciate it. All right, a couple of calendar items for today. The profit share team, which was scheduled to meet at 12 noon, is being rescheduled. So watch for new information on that. So no profit share team today at 12 noon. However, at 1 o'clock, you do have Ask Jen and Jackie Almost Anything. And that's the leverage edition. And so we put that together because so many of you have questions about what is transaction management? What is listings management? What kind of marketing services does the Market Center have versus what I can pay for via leverage out? And so we wanted to make sure that you had an opportunity, just open mic it and have a Q&A with Jen and Jackie at the helm so that they can answer any of those questions, what they do, what they don't do, how they do it, why it's important, what that might look like, how it might help your business, what it costs, what kind of packages they have. So do tune in at 1 o'clock today from a leverage perspective to ask your questions. They are going to announce for the people who are on that call a special promotion that lasts through the end of the month. I helped them design it, and so I can tell you it's a great promotion. So let's make sure that they have your attention today, because you're going to want to plug into that promotion they're going to talk with you about. All right. Friday at 1 o'clock, a lot of questions about delayed financing, especially after yesterday's. Can I just take a pause for a minute? Yesterday's 11 o'clock mastermind around getting your buyer sides closed. I don't know about the rest of you, but I thought that was one of the best hours that we have spent together in 48 months. 48 months? That's a long time in the last couple of years, right? So thank you so much for all of you who plugged into that, because your ideas were spectacular. The conversation around winning at all costs with your buyers, I think motivated a whole lot of us to go ahead and just start doing things differently. Remember, if you just keep doing things the same way, you're going to get the same results. And if what you're doing today is not helping your buyers win, you've got to change what you're doing. In order to get to better, you have to first go through different. So thank you for everyone who participated. I'm going to send the link to that out as soon as we're off this call today. So watch for that. If you didn't plug in yesterday, spend an hour and walk through that recording, because the information was really top notch. And I credit everybody who was on that call with all those great shares and all that awesome information back and forth for that. So thank you so much. However, one of the things that came up was buyers that can buy cash and then do delayed financing right after the fact, right? We have a session at 1 o'clock on Friday for you to have a Q&A around what that delayed financing actually looks like. People call it different things. I call it delayed financing. Some people call it refis after closing, whatever. There's a whole bunch of different ways to terms to reference it. However, Friday at 1 o'clock, right in this Zoom room, we'll have some information for you on that. So do tune in. Mastermind week is next week. Monday is cappers at 1 o'clock. Wednesday is all agents at 1 o'clock. And Thursday at 1 o'clock is Rainmakers, that I think we're going to have a special guest and open that up to everybody. So watch for more information on that, but make sure that your masterminds are on your calendar for next week. Next Tuesday at 1 o'clock, we do have a webinar being brought to you by GRA on making money in social media. So that'll be an outside person coming in to talk with you about activities you can be focused on to make money in social media. That's on Tuesday at 1 o'clock. My goodness, there's a lot to talk about. Tomorrow, St. Patrick's Day. There's a party. Oh, look, everyone all of a sudden stopped talking on the phone and stopped writing and perked up. I should have started with that to have more attention. 3 to 6 in the Westport Business Center, 3 to 6 in the Westport Business Center. Wear your best green, come on down. We've got corned beef and cabbage and bangers and mash and everything else Irish that you can think of, probably beer as well. Bring a potluck thing for your favorite St. Patty's Day thing. If you've never checked out that space, it's a perfect opportunity for you to come and check out that space. We'd love to see you from 3 to 6 tomorrow. I think the last thing I have to talk with you about is something that some of you are getting sick of hearing, and I understand that. However, we're going to close registration on Friday, so you won't hear anything more about it after Friday. If you haven't enrolled in Bold, please go ahead and get that done, because we are closing registration. I know a number of you keep telling me, yes, I'm doing it, but you're not on the list. So once we close registration, we're going to close registration. So go ahead and get that done. If you didn't see the email, we now have an opportunity for you to pay out of closings. So I'm going to be resending that after this call as well, because a number of you said to me, I wish there was a way to pay out of closings. And I said, well, there is. And they said, oh, okay, I didn't see that. So know that that exists. I'm going to send that information out. You just need to get your yes back to me, and we'll get you the documentation to make that happen. All righty. That's a whole lot of announcements. My goodness, I'm out of breath. I need to take a break and a drink and maybe take a lap. All righty. So today I wanted to just address with you some money stuff, if that's all right. And it's 5 financial actions that I think you should be taking right this very minute. And right this very minute, because it's already March the 16th. We're already 10 weeks into 2022. So here are the 5 things I want you to focus on. Number 1, assess. Assess. I want you to stop right now and review your profit and loss statement. Review your personal balance sheet to see exactly where you are 10 weeks into the year. Are you making money? Are you losing money? Do you know one way or the other if you're making or losing money? P.S. If you're not working from a personal balance sheet and a profit and loss statement, you probably don't know whether you're making or losing money. You're working off of a best guess. And now that you know where you are based on that assessment, what are you going to do to either keep doing what you're doing or change course to fill in a gap? You can't take the proper strategic steps until you know exactly where you're at. Are you spending too much? Are you earning too little? Are you doing a little bit of both? Remember, without some kind of tool to track what you earn and track what you spend, you will always end up being surprised. And I don't know about the rest of you, but especially as it pertains to my financial health, I am not interested in surprises. No thanks. I'll take a pass. So number 1, assess. A quick aside, there are some of you within the sound of my voice who purposely avoid this assessment. I am going to challenge you to take your head out of the sand and look at it. You got to just look in the financial mirror and know what it looks like. It doesn't get better until you actually look at it and then make some decisions about changing it. If you hide from it, you don't make any changes. Number 2, strategize around an emergency fund. Strategize around an emergency fund. Do you have an emergency fund? Dave Ramsey tells us that this should be $1,000 as fast as you can. And then over time, you grow it to 3 to 6 months of your expenses. My personal opinion is that $1,000 is not enough because of where we live and work and the rising cost of everything to live life. $1,000 just isn't enough. What I would encourage you to do if you do not have an emergency fund is set aside $1,000 as fast as you can. Some of you can do that right after this call. Some of you are going to have to earn that and set it aside. As soon as you have the $1,000, push it to $5,000 as quickly as you possibly can. If that means taking $1,000 out of the next 5 closings, great. If you have a big closing coming up and you can take all 5,000 out and set it aside, great. Have an emergency fund. Have the peace of mind to know that you have emergency money set aside. And oh, by the way, put that someplace out of your reach. That means up in the cloud, in an account in the cloud, or Debbie and I keep money in a bank across town with no online access. I told you this once before, right? They kept saying, oh, well, sign up for this, sign up. I'm like, no, we don't want that. We want it over there, so we can't touch it, and we have to really work to get at it. Those emergency funds should be out of your reach. Number 3, strategize around debt. Strategize around debt. Do you have debt that is not your principal residence? If yes, what I want you to do today is figure out how many houses you need to sell to get rid of that debt in 2022. Turn the debt into units sold. Now recognize that's units sold on top of the units sold that you need to take to run your business and run your household. For many of you, you will be shocked to know how few additional houses you need to sell to clear your debt. So I want you to do that calculation. What is your average commission check when you sell a house? How much debt do you have? It's a simple calculation. Dave Ramsey teaches us to use the debt snowball, right, to get rid of debt. However you're minimizing your debt, I want you to start with your credit card debt because that's the one thing that you can control. Get rid of your credit card debt and then start working on everything else. By the way, debt to me also includes taxes. So set a goal that in 2022, you will pay your taxes quarterly in full on time. If you've never done that before, your goal for 2022 is to make sure that you earn enough consistently to set your 30% aside so you can pay your taxes on time, or else it just becomes accumulated debt. Number 4, strategize around increasing income, not just reducing expenses. What are you doing to increase your income? Do you have a plan to sell more houses? How are you doing it? What are those action steps? Are you going to have a side hustle for a while? Are you pushing towards investments? Are you walking around your house saying, I haven't used that in a while, sell it. I need my $1,000 for an emergency fund, sell, sell, and sell. Get them online, get them sold, and put the money in your emergency fund. Are you taking steps to make a difference? There's lots of different ways to increase your income. I want you to remember something. You cannot reduce your way to financial freedom. You have to earn your way to financial freedom, which means at some point, you can't reduce expenses anymore because you still have to live. It costs money to live, and it costs money to run a business, and it costs even more money to grow a business. So at some point, you have to recognize you simply have to earn more. So strategize about increasing income. I'm not saying that expense reduction is unimportant, But some of us spend so much time trying to spend less money that we forget that we have to actually earn more money. Number 5, strategize around multiple sources of income. Strategize around multiple sources of income. What else are you doing to expand your sources of income? Start right here inside of this organization with what we offer. Other than your listings and your sales income, are you building a referral income strategy like we talked about on Monday? Are you plugging into profit share, AKA free money? Are you plugging into the insurance joint venture that we offer? 12 of you did, and you're making money. That leaves 588 of you who didn't. That opportunity still exists. Are you plugging into the real estate investment opportunity that we have? Are you becoming a YouTuber and making money online? Are you writing a book? Are you coaching people on the side? Do you do something really well that you could package and sell? There's lots of different sources of income if you step back and look at it. What else are you doing to make sure that you're plugging into multiple sources? Guys, those are the 5 actions that I want you to take right this very minute. Oh, wait, you want a bonus? All right, I'll give you a bonus. Here's the bonus. Make taking control of your finances your one thing in 2022. Dedicate yourself to getting out of debt and taking control of your finances. It might take you the entire rest of the year. That's okay. Some of this stuff doesn't happen overnight, but I want you to wake up on January 1st, 2023, feeling lighter and feeling more in control and feeling not so underneath your finances, but standing on top of your finances. And if you will start with those 5 things that I outlined today, you'll be well on your way. Guys, I hope that was helpful to you. I look forward to seeing you throughout the day. Have a great one. Have a great week. We'll see you soon. Happy money making. Bye.